Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no.
On August the 15th, 2020, the cycling world saw one of the most devastating crashes in modern times, involving one of the most promising prospects of the sport, Remco Evenepoel.
Remco est tombé.
This is how it happened.
Mais c'est pas vrai. Mais c'est pas vrai.
Just before his crash, Remco had already established himself as an elite bike rider despite his young age. His rise to the top of the game was unlike anything we've seen before. In 2017, he was still the captain of Anderlecht's youth football team and Belgium's under-17 national team. Remco's relentless nature was widely recognised ever since joining the club's football academy at the age of 5. He seemed destined to become a football professional. However, at the start of the 2017-2018 season, things went wrong in the team for unclear reasons, and he had to settle for a place on the bench. For a teenager of his character, this new situation was hard to come to terms with. His dream to become a professional athlete was at stake. After many weeks of not starting for the team, the 17-year-old decided he had enough and switched to road cycling. To many people, this seemed like a rash decision, but to his close friends, it wasn't.
Et à 24 ans, Patrick Evenepoel gagne le Grand Prix de Wallonie.
Remco's father, Patrick Evenepoel, was actually a professional cyclist in the 90s. He passed down his love for cycling to his son, who was always known for his exceptional endurance and stamina on the football pitch. Such qualities are crucial in the sport of cycling. To everyone's surprise, the young Belgian became Europe's champion in the summer of 2018, finishing nearly 10 minutes ahead of the rest.
Our minds are back down on the road and minds are being focused here and there. Oh my goodness.
But what came next completely dwarfed this feat.
Evenepoel calling, he needs a new bike.
It was on that day at the World Championships that cycling fans from around the world got to know Remco Evenepoel.
A little guy with a big heart and a massive future has just become a double world champion.
His comeback during the road race, despite getting caught in a crash, made headlines worldwide, only a few days after winning the time trial title in the same category. It was evident that this was no ordinary teen. Following his meteoric ascent, Remco ended up inking a contract with Quick-Step, one of the world's biggest professional teams, for the upcoming 2019 season.
Tom Squinch dips his head. He's not able to stay with this superstar young rider.
He quickly demonstrated his talent in the elite category, winning the Tour of Belgium and Classica San Sebastian in a dominant fashion.
This is Remco Evenepoel. He has taken the Classica San Sebastian of 2019.
He was already giving the top names a hard time before his 20th birthday.
Station from Belgium is riding away with it, and Remco Evenepoel is here to take on the biggest names in the world.
His ability to attack from distance and maintain an insane tempo was impeccable. Remco dominated all 4 stage races he entered in 2020, cementing his status as an elite cyclist. After witnessing the rise of this prodigy, the Belgian public started to believe that this was the new Eddy Merckx. The pace of the young man's life was brisk, and he appeared to be on a path to success, until August the 15th of that year, when events took a tragic turn. With about 40 kilometers from the finish of the Tour of Lombardy, Remco Evenepoel was inside a leading group of 4 riders, riding down the Sormano, a descent known as the fastest and most technical on the professional circuit. Coming through a sharp left-hand turn, the front 3 men made it safely, but Remco, who had never been on this road before, misjudged the turn and went wide. Due to the high speed, he was unable to correct his mistake. He collided with the low stone wall of an upcoming bridge and was thrown over it. The viewers were utterly shocked. The first few people that arrived at the site found a bike without a rider. And when they looked down into the ravine, the sight they witnessed was highly distressing. Remco had fallen 30 feet into the ravine. That's the equivalent of the height of a 3-story building. Early reports said that Evenepoel was conscious and able to talk when paramedics arrived. He immediately mentioned experiencing pain on his right side. The medical staff placed him in a precautionary neck brace and carried him to an ambulance. He was transported to a nearby hospital in Italy, where he remained under care overnight before returning home to Belgium the following day. The X-ray scans revealed a fractured pelvis and a right lung contusion. These injuries put him out of racing for the rest of the year. Considering how frightening the crash appeared to be and the fall he took, things could have been much worse. Luckily, he didn't crash into the deeper areas of the ravine, and the forest floor's thick layers of leaves helped to cushion the impact of his fall. His recovery process wasn't smooth sailing, however. It took longer than anticipated by his doctors, causing concern among those around him about whether he could fully recover. Evenepoel returned to racing at the Giro in May 2021, 9 months after the crash.
The last time we saw Remco Evenepoel, he'd just fallen off a bridge in Lombardy.
He was tearful after finally making it to the start line of a World Tour race. He wasn't as good as before, but he was picking up form. Remco spent the first 2 weeks trying to rank up in the top 10 before he crashed out on stage 17.
Oh, no. Crash again, and once more they're involved behind. Disaster.
It was another setback on his path to recovery. He abandoned the race as he wasn't able to continue. A few weeks later, he returned to participate in the Tour of Belgium to defend his title, which he successfully did. Then he competed in the Olympic Games in August and landed a top 10 position in the time trial.
The Belgian wonder kid arrives at the finish line, Evenepoel.
His performance against the clock improved in September when he competed at the World Championships, bringing home a bronze medal to end the season. In 2021, he saw some signs of recovery, but it was in 2022 that he experienced a true comeback. In April, Remco won his first cycling monument via a solo effort. He then went on to win the Classica San Sebastian for the second time in a similar fashion. The Remco Evenepoel show was finally back.
Remco Evenepoel takes a second win in the San Sebastian Classic.
Later in the summer, he headed towards the Tour of Spain to chase Grand Tour glory. After the first week, he took the race lead and extended it with the time trial on stage 10. However, it was a tough competition with the winner of the previous 3 editions, Primož Roglič. The Slovenian managed to reduce the deficit on the next big mountain stage. But it all fell apart for him on stage 16 when he crashed and had to leave the race. With that, Evenepoel claimed his first Grand Tour title. To top it off, the Belgian took to the start line of the World Championships held in Australia in September. He was up against the world's top cyclists in a very long and challenging road race. Each of the favourites had a plan that day, but when Remco felt the time was right and decided to go, they could only watch him pull away.
Big attack as we make our way towards the 2 laps of racing to go. Massive attack from the Belgian.
They were all desperately trying to catch up, but the gap was only increasing.
Remco Evenepoel is now almost 3 minutes ahead of the peloton.
The aero bullet was in his element.
He looks comfortable, he looks fast.
He's just got to keep this on, keep the tempo. He's almost there.
A first Grand Tour for Belgium for 44 years. It's going to be a first world title in a decade. Remco Evenepoel.
4 years after winning the Junior World Championships, Remco Evenepoel claims a well-deserved Elite World Championships title at the age of 22, silencing all his doubters and proving once again that he's a force to be reckoned with. He came out of 2022 as a winner of a monument, a Grand Tour, and the World Championships. only 3 other men in history have achieved such a feat. Following his great success, the young Belgian was awarded the Vélo d'Or award as the best male cyclist of the year.